The most dangerous person in your life is smiling at you right now. Not your enemy. Not the person who openly challenges you. No, the most dangerous person in your life is the one who laughs at your jokes, listens to your plans, and says, "I'm always here for you," while quietly doing everything they can to make sure you never succeed. And here's what makes this terrifying. You already know who this person is. Somewhere, deep down, you've always known. You've felt that hollow feeling after certain conversations. That strange weight after hanging out with someone who's supposed to make you feel good. You've noticed that your problems somehow always get worse when certain people are involved. But you dismissed it. Because they've never done anything obviously wrong. Because confronting it would make you look paranoid. Because it's easier to believe people are good. Niccolò Machiavelli had no patience for that kind of comfort. 500 years ago, this man looked at human nature without blinking. At the courts of Renaissance Italy, where every smile was potentially a knife and every alliance was temporary. And he wrote something the modern world desperately doesn't want to hear. Most people are not who they appear to be, and the ones who will hurt you most aren't the strangers. They're the ones who got close enough to matter. Today, we're going to look at Machiavelli's guide to fake people. 5 signs that someone is performing friendship rather than feeling it. And 3 principles that will change how you protect yourself forever. To understand why Machiavelli's insight matters here, you need to understand the world he lived in. Florence in the late 1400s was not a safe place to trust people. It was a city of merchants, princes, and power, where your neighbor might be reporting to your rival, where your closest advisor might be negotiating your removal. Machiavelli didn't just observe this world theoretically. He lived and breathed it. He served as a diplomat and senior government official for 14 years. He watched alliances form and collapse. He watched loyal men betray their masters the moment the wind changed, and what he concluded was brutal. Most people are not fundamentally loyal. They are loyal to their interests. They are loyal to the version of you that benefits them. The moment that equation shifts, the mask does too. The Prince, his most infamous work, is often misread as a manual for villains. But what it actually is an unblinking map of human behavior. It describes fake people not because Machiavelli celebrated them, but because he believed the greatest mistake a person could make was failing to see them for what they are. He called this kind of dangerous naivety, assuming people are as good as they appear, the most common cause of ruin. So, what does fake actually look like? The first sign Machiavelli identified is excessive, effortless praise. He wrote, "Flatterers are a plague, not an inconvenience, a plague." He believed flattery was one of the most dangerous forces a powerful person could be exposed to, because it feels exactly like loyalty but operates like poison. Here's how the trap works. A fake person in your life will make you feel extraordinary around them. They're enthusiastic about everything you do. Your ideas are brilliant. Your looks are remarkable. Your decisions are bold. Whatever you say, they find a way to make you feel like you're exceptional for saying it. And here's the psychological trick. This feels like connection. It feels like being truly seen. But what it actually is control. The person who flatters you constantly is not admiring you. They're managing you. They are learning what makes you feel good and then deploying it strategically to keep you close, to lower your guard, and to extract what they need from the relationship. Machiavelli's test for whether praise is genuine is simple. Does this person ever disagree with you? Does this person ever tell you something you didn't want to hear? Because genuine respect requires honesty. Flattery is only ever agreement. The fake person will never challenge you when you're wrong, because their goal is not your growth. Their goal is your warmth. The second sign is what I call the information dealer. This person has a particular talent. They always seem to know what's happening with other people. They share secrets. They pass along gossip. They give you the inside story on mutual friends, on colleagues, on anyone in your shared world, and it feels like intimacy, like they trust you with things they'd never tell anyone else. But Machiavelli understood something important here. Information has value. And someone who trades it freely is not doing it out of affection. They're doing it to build leverage. Here is the rule he would apply. The person who tells you everyone else's secrets is telling everyone else your secrets. The information dealer is not loyal to you. They're loyal to the currency of information itself. You are one node in their network. The moment something more valuable than your friendship appears, the transaction will shift. There's also something deeper happening psychologically. The act of sharing private information creates an illusion of alliance. You receive the secret. You feel bonded. But what's actually happened is you've entered a reciprocal system. And that system will eventually cost you. The next time someone shares information about others too freely, ask yourself, why are they telling me this? What do they get from it? Because real friends protect the people they love, including the people they're talking to you about. Sign 3 is the Sudden Loyalist, and this one is particularly painful when you finally see it. The Sudden Loyalist is the person who becomes intensely close to you very quickly. There's a rush of energy. They want to spend time with you. They're deeply interested in your life. They position themselves as your closest ally in a remarkably short period. Machiavelli was suspicious of any alliance that formed too fast. He knew from watching politics and power that speed in relationships often signals utility, not genuine affection. When someone moves very fast to get close to you, the question to ask is, what have they positioned themselves to gain? Now, and this is critical, this doesn't mean every person who connects with you quickly is fake. But it does mean you need to watch what happens when the relationship becomes inconvenient for them. Fake loyalty has a specific texture. It shows up with enthusiasm when things are good, when you have something to offer, when being close to you is easy or advantageous. And it disappears with extraordinary speed when circumstances shift. When you're going through something difficult, when you can't offer anything, when there's a cost to being beside you. Real loyalty, as Machiavelli observed in the handful of genuinely trustworthy advisors he wrote about, is almost defined by its willingness to stay when it's hard. If someone was incredibly close to you before a failure, a loss, or a difficult period, and then became strangely distant after, that's not bad timing, that's information. Sign 4 is subtle, and it might be the one that hurts most to recognize. This is the person who is wonderful when you're in pain. When something goes wrong, they're there. They listen, they empathize, they say all the right things, and you feel loved and supported. But here's the question Machiavelli would ask. When do you actually need help? And what did they do? Fake support is the mastery of the gesture without the cost. The phone call, the kind words, the cup of coffee, and the sympathetic listening. All of this feels real. All of this feels like friendship. But real support in Machiavelli's world was defined by action. By someone who put something at stake for you, who did something inconvenient, difficult, or risky because you needed them to. Watch what people do when helping you would cost them something. Not a long conversation, not a kind word, something that requires actual sacrifice. Their time, their reputation, their energy, their resources. The person who comforts you without ever acting is not a friend. They are an audience. They enjoy the role of being supportive. It makes them feel good about themselves. But they have never actually paid anything to be in your life. The fifth sign is the darkest one, and Machiavelli wrote about this with a cold clarity that can make you feel slightly sick when you recognize it in your own life. There are people around you who need you to fail, not because they're evil, but because your success confronts something in them they haven't resolved. Every time you achieve something, every time you grow, every time you're recognized, it makes the gap between where they are and where they want to be more visible. These people are almost never openly hostile. They're not obvious about it. They say they want good things for you. But there's a particular tone they use when your name comes up. A subtle way of framing your wins that slightly undermines them. A tendency to bring up your past mistakes in moments of your success. A strange energy in the room when something great happens for you. Machiavelli would call this person your most dangerous proximity because they can't openly be your enemy. And they won't let themselves be your genuine ally. They live in the uncomfortable middle, performing friendship while being quietly invested in your stagnation. The signal to watch for: how do they respond when something really good happens for you? Joy, real, uncomplicated joy on your behalf, is one of the rarest expressions of genuine love. If it's always slightly qualified, slightly late, or accompanied by a "but," pay attention. So if these signs are recognizable, why do we keep missing them? Because we are wired to trust. Psychologists have confirmed what Machiavelli observed centuries earlier. Human beings have a profound tendency to see what we want to see in the people we're emotionally attached to. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the parts of our psychology that remain hidden until forced into the light. We miss fake people partly because they are skilled at performance, but we also miss them because we need the illusion. The idea that the people we love are who they appear to be is deeply comforting. Confronting the alternative requires grief. It requires the painful process of reconstructing your understanding of a relationship that mattered to you. Machiavelli had no interest in comfort. He believed the price of illusion was always higher than the price of clarity. But he also didn't believe in burning relationships at the first sign of complexity. His approach was far more strategic and far more psychologically sophisticated. Rule 1. Watch the pattern, not the moment. Every person has bad days. Every person fails to show up sometimes. What reveals character is not a single instance. It's the pattern across time. Before you dismiss someone, watch long enough to see the full shape of who they are. But also, before you trust someone completely, watch long enough to test whether their consistency is real. Rule 2. Give information proportionally to the trust earned. Machiavelli was obsessive about this. He believed that sharing information freely with unproven people was one of the greatest strategic errors a person could make. You do not need to be paranoid. You do not need to be cold. But the depth of what you share with someone should correspond to the depth of what they've demonstrated to you, not the depth of what you feel. Rule 3. Never punish a fake person directly. This is the part that surprises people. Machiavelli didn't advocate for confrontation or revenge. He believed that the wise response to recognizing a fake person was quiet repositioning. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to destroy them. You simply need to stop giving them access to the parts of your life that matter. Move them from the inner circle to the outer one. Reduce the information flow. Adjust your emotional investment. Let the relationship exist at the level it deserves, and not 1 inch deeper. Machiavelli believed that the greatest power a person could have was the power of clear sight, not cynicism, not suspicion. Clear sight. He wasn't telling you to stop trusting people. He was telling you to stop trusting everyone equally. The people in your life have earned different levels of access to you. And the tragedy isn't being surrounded by fake people. The tragedy is not knowing the difference. Because here's what he ultimately understood, and what this entire series has been about. Real loyalty is rare. Real friendship is rare. Real love is rare. And when you find it, when someone shows you through their actions, their sacrifices, their honesty, and their consistency that they are genuinely in your corner, that relationship becomes one of the most powerful forces in your life. But to protect it, you first have to learn to see what's not real. Next time, we're going to look at something even more uncomfortable. Not the fake people around you, but the fake world they've built. We're going to ask the question Machiavelli spent his entire life trying to answer. Why does the world keep rewarding evil? That's episode 4. And it's going to challenge everything you think you know about how power actually works. Stay with me.